Right, okay, so we're going to make a start for this afternoon's commentary. Welcome to everybody in the audience at Warwick. Welcome to everybody watching online. At least we hope you're watching online. It's in the lap of the gods. We're pressing the right buttons, hopefully, clicking the right knobs. We might get a picture. All right, let's get on with round four even, of the British Championship. Board one is, if I'm not mistaken, Pert versus Hawkins.
Not Nick Pert.
Richard Pert.
Yeah.
Another very dangerous player.
Yeah.
And clearly a force to be reckoned with.
Yeah.
Then we will be moving on to a classic matchup between Mark Hebden and Glenn Fleer.
Yeah.
Two old friends from Leicester.
Yeah.
Seasoned grandmasters. What will transpire there?
So is it fair to say friends on outside the chessboard and loggerheads on the chessboard? That's what is happening.
Yeah, I think it's going to be an uncompromising game.
Yeah. And
then we will come to a big game. Simon Williams, the Ginger GM, against David Howell. If you see any of Simon's online videos, you'll know he is willing to play all manner of rubbish on YouTube. Will he come out with some outrageous moves against David Howell? He may well do. And finally, we have in this eclectic selection, Nick Pert versus Chris Ward, another all-grandmaster clash. So before we go any further, I'd like to introduce my co-commentator, Ravi Kumar. What are your predictions for this afternoon?
Okay. First of all, I like to say that three people with 3 points are in the lead now, which is Jonathan Hawkins, who managed to win that end game yesterday. Mark Hebden had a very sharp game yesterday. He's on 3 points, and now Richard Pert, international master 2440, is playing Hawkins. And the one thing I can see is that, and then we have like a whole set of grandmasters with 2.5 points, and then we interestingly have two juniors up there with 2.5 points among the grandmasters, Dancing with the Wolves. We got Akshaya Kalakrishnan 2.5 points, good start, and Alex Golding 2.5 points as we start. So that is the total picture up there.
You haven't told me what your predictions are yet.
Yeah, okay. My prediction today is Hawkins is going to win.
Yep. Fleer Hebden?
Howell will win unless we see some kind of thinking outside the box, as his DVD says.
There'll be plenty of thinking outside the box in Simon Williams' game, that's for sure. Yep, go
on. And Nick Pert playing white against Chris Ward, seasoned grandmaster. I think I would expect Nick to win this game. And then I think I do like Keith Arkell, 2.5 points. After that draw, he was feverishly analyzing the game down with Alex, and then he was trying to find a way. And I think it's that, that aspect is what makes him a very tough competitor, isn't it? He likes to try and go on and on and on.
That game was my game of the day. And I found out that both players missed good opportunities towards the end.
Oh.
Golding probably missed 2 wins, and Keith missed something very near the end. So it was a bit of an exciting encounter, that one. But Bishop takes G2. That's correct. So anyway, let us move on, and we'll go to this afternoon's games. My predictions: Pert Hawkins will be a draw. Williams Howell, I predict a Howell win, with the Ginger GM going down in flames. Fleer Hebden, I predict a draw, but not necessarily a friendly draw. And Pert versus Ward, I think Nick will win that with the white pieces.
Yeah. Can I just add that?
Clearly not.
Sorry. Can I just add that Keith Arkell's opponent is going to miss his dinner today? That's my prediction.
Arkell versus Jackson. You think that's going to be an incredibly long game?
Yeah.
Right. Let's get on with the chess. Pert versus Hawkins. What happened?
Right. D4 straight away.
D4 by Pert. Yeah.
Yeah. D5.
Okay.
C4.
Right.
E6.
Yes.
Knight F3. Knight F6. And this, in my opinion, Hawkins plays the Slav quite a bit, isn't it? But I believe he can play anything. In my opinion, he's the best prepared player in the country. And I do see him occasionally when we do work together, and all the time he says my openings are not not ready yet, not ready yet. But if you consider his theory, it's bang up to date. So what does he do? He must be spending a lot of time researching.
I presume so. Not everybody's got the luxury to spend their whole life researching chess openings, Ravi.
Yeah.
But yeah, the Queen's Gambit declined. That's pretty solid stuff. So let's see how he's going to play it.
Yeah, and then knight c3, bishop e7.
Bishop e7, solid as a rock.
Bishop f4.
Okay, so that is probably the sharpest move in this position.
Yeah.
Obviously, that move and bishop g5. Casper, the license term of your internet security expires in 7 days. I want everybody out there to know that. Right, bye. So lucky it's not my computer.
All right, okay. So this system is quite fashionable of recent, okay? Those playing bishop f4 has intention to block off with c5. And apparently there's a very big DVD by Lauren D. Costa on this one.
Could be.
Yeah, which says
long. You mean very long DVD?
Very long DVD. Okay. 6-8 hours about the merits of blocking on c5, and
8 hours,
something like that. Okay, so.
Well, all I can say is if you started watching it now, you'll be finished at 11:30.
Yeah. So. So bishop f4, castle, e3.
Yeah.
And now Hawkins goes knight bd7, allowing the c5. This
this is the modern trend, isn't it? Because beforehand, black almost exclusively plays c5.
Yeah.
And got a fairly free game as a result, but quite often you got an isolated queen's pawn, didn't you?
Yeah, I think in this opening particularly, Nigel Short has been playing this opening as black, and he's played so many games in that, and after a certain while there's so much theory in there, but I think as far as the position is concerned, after c5, d takes c5, queen a5, queen c2, I like White's construction of position. He's getting that long castle in, he's putting pressure on d5, not easy to play with.
Well, I remember when Spielman, do you remember Spielman was challenging for the World Championship, and he played Karpov in a match. I think it was back in the end of the 1980s, and this was the first game where the line with castle on the queen side was chosen. Something like this, isn't it? And now White castle on the queen side, very sharp.
Yeah.
And Karpov didn't get a great position, and of course these days that's the reason why this line isn't played very much by black. This precise line, very, very sharp stuff. So Hawkins plays knight bd7. That's a very classical move, isn't it?
Yeah, knight bd7. Just saying that I think now c5 is the main line, and I think he must be prepared. Because c5, b6, b4. That's the structure here. But unfortunately, or fortunately, for Hawkins, I think somebody trusted his opening preparation and then went cd5.
Well, the thing is, White, black's not really very active for the time being. He's just concentrating on getting a solid position. So you'd be expecting him to follow up with b6 or c6. Yeah. White could play many moves. Queen c2, he could play c takes d5. You think c5? Yeah.
For the benefit of this audience and everywhere, I think it does, does provide some very specific problem. Now the queen side is sealed.
Well, show me then. I'll play c6.
Yeah, and then b4.
b4. Okay, b6.
Okay, and this is where they could just go bishop d3.
I presume Lauren spent about 7 hours analysing this continuation. Is that right?
Yeah,
I see.
Something like that. And then you go a3.
a3. Yeah. It's a nice pyramid you built there. Wasn't there a game Carlsen and in this line? And Vichy beat Carlsen in this line.
Yeah.
Did he even play b5 in this position?
Possibly, yeah.
Where you have to sack a piece as black, don't you? Is that right?
Yeah, cb5 and c6.
Well, it's a great shame the two guys didn't do that today.
And I think in terms of preparation, I think Richard Pert should have spent a lot of time in this line, and then he must have decided cd5 is simply better because after e takes d5.
Is that what was played?
No, it wasn't played, but I'm saying after e d5, okay, and you have this, position where it's like a queen's gambit declined exchange variation, where white has this f4, and now he goes h3 to save his bishop, and this is how Karpov plays this system.
Well, I don't know about that, but it looks like a nice, easy game for white to play.
Yeah.
It's the exchange variation of the Queen's Gambit. I suppose the only major difference between this and the normal line is that black can maybe play c5. But you've got to be very careful when you play such a move in this type of position.
Yeah, isolated pawn.
So anyway, c takes d5. Of course, black can play knight takes d5 here.
I think he needs to get rid of that that piece out to have some freedom. Otherwise, as I said, you will be playing that exchange variation with the knight on f6 is getting in the way of black's pieces coming out.
So knight takes d5 forces an exchange.
Yeah.
Because
bishop d3.
Black's on the bishop at f4.
Bishop d3.
Wait a minute. Hang on a sec. Just a second. I'm not so fast. Bishop d3. Yes.
c5.
Well, now can black start to get fancy with bishop check? Is that any good? Are you going to move your king, or will you play knight d2?
Well, if you gave a check, I can play knight d2.
Right. Do you want to play knight d2?
I do.
You've done it then.
Yeah.
Is that check any use to me? Well, I'm not sure. Is it? Oh no, that hangs my pawn. What a shame. I don't know that it's no use. I don't know. That knight's not on a perfect square, is it? a3, just go back.
Well, I go back to knight f3, so you wasted a move with the bishop, and I go back to knight f3, and I have the position that I want.
All right, if you say so. What did he play?
He played c5, which is the sharpest.
c5.
Yeah, continuation, and shows willingness to go into isolated pawn. But I think now d takes c5 is not a good move, because knight takes c5 is already on the bishop, and then if you have to pull the bishop out, then he's getting a lot of activity for the isolated pawn. So d takes c5, knight takes c5, and bishop e2.
Let's say bishop c2, yeah? Is that something wrong with that?
Bishop c2 is bishop g4. You don't want to be in that pin. You want control of d4 square.
All right. Bishop e2.
Bishop e2. And then I think now it's just possibly bishop f6, and white is in some trouble.
Well, of course, white's biggest problem is he hasn't castled. So, black is quite justified in creating something sharp. So c5, all right, but white doesn't have to take. I presume he just castled, did he?
Yeah, he just castled. Now getting ready to take.
I think we have to understand that a draw with Hawkins is not a bad deal for Pert.
What's the rating difference?
114 points, but Richard's got a job and a family. Hawkins is a professional, so this is a huge difference. So just keep it solid, and therefore Richard Pert's playing solid moves. Castles, can't be anything wrong with that. It does allow black to play c4, but is that premature?
Yeah, c4, bishop c2.
Did he play that?
Yeah, and now it's the reversal of that line that I've been talking. The white was playing c5 and blocking off, and now it's black who's achieved it with considerable ease. So
I'm slightly surprised by that move, but all right, bishop. Now we have to choose the right square for the bishop. Well, we can see what black's up to. He's got a massive pawn majority on the queen side. Of course, it's a heck of a long time before he can get those pawns into dominating positions, but that is a theme in this position. So where am I going to put
bishop c2?
This bishop? He put it on c2. That's the most aggressive choice.
Yeah, you don't want the opposing bishop to come to f5.
Well, if you go in there, I think I'm actually going to play b5.
Yeah.
Did he do that?
Yeah.
He did that.
Competition move.
Okay, competition move. Yeah, our first big giveaway of the afternoon. Now, what can we give away? Let's give away Who Dares Wins by Lauren Da Costa, coincidentally.
True combat chess.
No, there's one there. Who dares wins. We'll give that away later after the first short draw.
So who's daring today? Is it
Who's dares
daring to
win?
win?
Right, right. Okay. So what did White play in this position and why? If you've come from the tournament hall, do not enter. If you're consulting your tablet or smartphone, please don't. Yes, sir. Yes, he didn't do that though. I'm sorry.
He didn't do rook c1.
Yes, sir. A3, and the point of that is to stop b4. Okay, that's very very logical, but he didn't do that either. Let's put your hand up. Yes, sir.
H4.
H4.
Kamikaze chess.
What did you have for breakfast?
So G3. G3.
H4. Why can't I take that pawn?
So I go G3.
Oh, then King G2 and mate on the H file. I'm sorry, sir. That was not Richard Pert's intention. Yes, sir. B3. Very close, but not correct. You've had a go. Yes. B4. No. Extremely close, but not correct. Yes, sir. E4 is correct.
Yep.
Round of applause for our erudite friend. He dared and he won. Why?
To break up the majority of the black.
That's it.
E4 and
Can I have the book back?
another competition.
Sorry?
If you leave it, you can't play it later.
You think this is the only moment where you think Black's going to play knight f6 maybe? Okay, congratulations. And our second competition of the afternoon, therefore, is what was Hawkins' reply. And you're allowed to say,
True combat chess.
you're dying to give that away, aren't you? Who's it by? Not Laurie DaCosta, is it?
No.
Timothy Taylor. True combat chess. That gives you a clue as to the type of move that was chosen. I'm lying. Go on then, go for it.
Bishop b7.
Bishop b7. No. We're looking for Black's move after e4. Sharp move, trying to get to grips with the black pawn formation. What did Black play in reply? Few young lads in the front row desperate to get their hands on true combat chess. Have a go.
a5.
A5. You might be desperate, but you're not going to get it this time. Sorry, sir. That is not the right answer. Yes, please. Knight b6 looks logical. Was not played. You've had a go. 2, and neither of them were correct. Okay. Knight f6. Well, again, one cannot fault your ingenuity and talent, but that's not correct. Yes, sir. F5. That's not Stonewall, mate.
So basically, I think the gentleman is trying to do is that.
Give away a pawn.
Yeah, no. No. The gentleman's idea is that if I take on d5, then the knight comes to f6, and then that pawn falls anyway.
It's very diplomatic of you to say so. I think he just blundered the pawn. White could take on f5 as well.
I was only talking about taking on d5.
But it's not the King's Gambit. It's the King's Gambit and the Queen's Gambit. That is. I'm sorry, sir. No book for you quite just yet. So you've had a go. Or at least 3 goes. Yes, please.
H5.
H5. If you carry on the same way
G6.
all afternoon, you're never going to win a book. Let me give you a clue. No, somebody else apart from these guys. Anybody else? What did Black play? It's not an easy competition to win, actually. Yes, sir.
Would you just play the bishop f6 to try and draw the pawn and then retreat the bishop back? He's leaving white with a bishop on f4, very near on some pawn.
Impeccable logic. No. What did he play? This is a difficult competition. What did Black play in response to e4? We've had a number of very normal, logical suggestions and a number of rather silly suggestions. Vic Peters is online, Ravi. Does that mean anything to you? No. Okay then. Yes, please.
Move the queen to c7.
And lose your queen. That's not bad. Chucking the queen away in one move by Ravi Kumar. That's a great book for you. There you go. A very slim volume. What's going on here?
So can we get the birthday boy to guess the next thing?
Your computer's get. How do you get rid of these?
Yes, I'll do. Can we get the birthday boy to guess the next move?
No, you just come in through the door.
Yes, sir.
The guy's an arbiter.
Have you seen the next move?
What have I done now?
I don't know what you're doing here.
Have you seen the next?
Okay, yes, sir. Red sitting in the back there. Well, pawn takes pawn, bishop takes pawn. Your rook in the corner is doomed, my friend. It's doomed. That's why e4 is quite a good move. No. No. I think even with 10 guesses each, they're not going to get this move.
Okay, let's reveal it.
No, I won't reveal it. Keep going.
I'm just going to move the rook to e1 and bring the bishop back to f8 so you can learn more PNG.
What is your suggestion, sir? Let's cut to the quick.
Rook e8.
That is correct. Beautiful.
Are you going to remove the bishop back to g7, you think, and have something down
there you are. You'll have to somehow convince your wife that you haven't been spending money. There you go. Take the book away there.
You know, only your face is going out online.
Sorry?
Only your face is going out online at the moment.
No, I didn't know that.
Would you like me to alter that?
Yeah, good idea. Yeah. No wonder there are 20,000 people watching.
Hang on, Ravi, let me do the job. There you go, world. You can now see the chess positions.
Okay, great. It's glad we've got such technical expertise in us. Right, well, coming back to the chess, rook e8. Congratulations. Right, so.
Have a good commentary, everybody.
Okay, so what Hawkins is saying in principle here is that if you take the pawn on d5, he's going to play knight f6 and he's going to take on d5, and then it is white who's going to have that isolated pawn on d4, and that is not a good middle game for white. And if white pushes e5, he has created the space on f8 for the knight, and the typical plan for white is to somehow get the pawn going to f4, f5, and he's quite prepared there to play f5 himself and then blockade the pass pawn by the knight. That is his motivation there.
By the way, I have to apologise to online viewers for any technical glitches that may have occurred. You weren't able to see the chess for the first 20 minutes or so, so I apologise for that. Not sure how that happened, but on with the game. So rook e8 was played, and therefore Pert played e5.
Yeah, forced, I think.
And then knight f8 looks about the right move here.
Yeah, played in the game.
Okay, so now Ravi's idea is coming to pass. Maybe Black's thinking about f5, so getting some sort of blockade.
Yeah, can we pick up the f2 pawn and put it on f5?
No, well, we can, but
just so that everybody can see, this is a winning plan for
white.
And to counter that, when the pawn comes to f4, it's going to be this pawn going to f5, and then the knight coming to e6 to blockade it. You know, theory on isolated pawn and theory on how to, blockade. The most famous author is Aaron Nimzowitsch, isn't it?
Any more moves?
Knight f8, no more moves.
Right, so a complicated struggle is in progress there. Now let's come to the game we all want to see: Simon Williams against David Howell. What sort of stuff is Simon going to come out with this afternoon? Please don't let it be anything like the stuff he plays on YouTube. That's all I can say. What have we got? I expect something. Oh,
D4,
D4, okay.
and F6,
Knight F6, yep.
C4,
Yes.
E6.
Right, so for the second time, David Howell's renounced the possibility of a Grunfeld defense.
Yeah, I don't think he wants to play. You know, he's had one Grunfeld here, isn't it? I mean,
Yep.
he's just showing how versatile these grandmasters are. That they are at a stroke of one decision made, they can switch from opening to opening with complete ease.
All right, and now?
And now Knight F3,
Yes.
Bishop B4 check,
So an extremely solid Bogo Indian defense.
Knight B to D2,
All right.
B6, fianchettoing that bishop, G3.
God, what's going on here? This looks like a game between, Kasparov and Karpov.
Yep.
Not Williams and David Howell.
No fireworks. He's just playing so super.
The very
solid.
opposite. Rock solid chess.
Yeah. Maybe we could need to create a YouTube channel not to play crazy chess by Simon Williams.
I think he's done that already. Carry on.
Malware detected. This is unusual, Simon Williams. Okay, so anyway. Is he actually turned a corner? Now is he going to give up all that funny stuff and then really play? So Bishop G2,
Yeah.
castle, and this tricky move now A5, which is kind of gaining the space in the queen side, and
Competition time.
competition time.
Good. Right, so we're clearly in a very generous mood this afternoon, and we've got some interesting. We've got a Simon Williams book to give away, so let's give it away. And what more appropriate book to give away for this competition? Improve Your Attacking Chess. Okay. Now we've got here a very orthodox position. What did White play next? And I want explanations, full explanations. Yes.
To go A3.
Intending to take the bishop.
Yes.
I
And
see.
then he probably has to retreat. And then he played B3, bishop B2, and then played B4.
Well, I think that's a great explanation, but of course, it's unfortunate he didn't play it. Sorry. There's no H4. I'll just tell you that straight off. Just you can save that one.
G5, bishops must be
Okay.
king goes up with tempo, then next on H5.
Well, if Black could play A5, you could play H4, but he didn't do it. Anybody else? Yes. E3, very, very normal move. Nope. That swaps off the bishops.
Swaps up. Knight D5 swaps up the bishop and drops the pawn.
Apart from that, though. No, wasn't that? Yes, sir. That is correct, sir. That is correct. You have played the attacking move, Knight B1. And therefore, you get the book, Improve Your Attacking Chess. It seems like you don't need any improvement. You've got it all sussed.
I'm not here for the chess either. I come from the European Piano Teachers Association.
Very good. You can put that under the leg of a piano then in that case, while it's a bit wobbly. Right, obviously this guy's a good player then. Knight B1. Would anybody else honestly have thought of that move?
I thought it bad.
Well, funnily enough, your move A3, maybe White's going to do that next, and then bring the knight to C3. So he's found a way of doing that.
I mean, when you play moves like that, you undevelop a piece and you put on B1, I mean, what should Howell be thinking here? It's not a very...
Probably bishop E7.
Yeah, but this must have sent some shockwaves to Howell, isn't it? Suddenly he touches the knight on D2. He can't go to E4. He can't go to B3. Oh, he's going to go back to B1.
I don't think it's that extraordinary. I've seen such moves before. It just leaves the bishop hanging in the air. And of course, White sets up the threat of C5. This is not without sting because White's threatening to go C5. That's the point. Trapping the bishop.
So if the bishop retreats to e7,
which I fully expect. I fully expect black to play bishop e7 here. I mean, I
And then-
suppose the only other move is a4, isn't it?
Well.
But that looks wrong somehow. Because, for instance, after a3, bishop a5, I can take the pawn anyway with the queen.
Yeah.
And then if you go back to e7, I play knight c3, and your
and then
pawn's
the
in
pawn
trouble.
a4 is in trouble.
So I actually think he's going to play bishop e7.
Played in the game.
Okay. No need to applaud. I think I've seen some games between Korchnoi and Karpov, or Korchnoi and somebody, where exactly this sort of thing happened. So I'm guessing White will play knight c3, right? Is that about right? Let's say he does. Let's count the moves that have been played. White's played 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. Black 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. So both sides having lost a tempo, we've come to a completely normal position.
So
How weird is that?
Should black now play bishop b4
What? Offering a draw?
to force the knight back?
Andrew, I think Black's played 7. I'm saying it's a chance.
He's played what?
7 moves.
Knight b1, bishop e7, knight c3. Let's have a look. 1, 2, 3, 4. White's played 7 moves. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Yeah, you're right. He has. He has.
So knight c3 wasn't played actually.
It wasn't played.
Rook e1, allowing bishop b4, rook f1. Could possibly.
That's the end of it.
Okay, this game has gone a little bit strangely. Rook e1. He wants to get e4 in.
Yeah, knight c3 and e4.
Well, I don't know. Is there anything wrong with d5? And if knight e5, knight a6. This goes back into a similar Queen's Indian line, but the pawn on a5 is not so bad for black in this line, because when you get c5 in, there's a lot of control over the queen side. I'm sure black can play that. What else can he play? Knight a6 straight away.
Yeah.
c5's less attractive now, isn't it?
Yeah, c5.
Wouldn't you say?
Yeah, c5 is less attractive because of the gambit line d5.
I wonder if you can go d5. That's right. And if takes,
Knight
to
h4.
h4. The move a5 looks pretty useless there. So I think actually he will probably play d5. Let's have a look from the other side. White's trying to find a system where a5 doesn't really help black. It might even hinder him in some cases. Is he succeeding?
I mean, if he goes.
I mean, the other thing is bishop b4. What actually happens here? I know that's sounded funny when somebody suggested it, but what actually does White play? Probably bishop d2, perhaps. It's a very, very peculiar position. And then if White plays bishop d2, maybe a move like queen to e7. And is that so bad for black?
Yeah.
Okay, so rook e1, a very strange position. You normally expect this with the knight on c3, but here the knight's obviously back on b1. All right, so let's move on to Pert versus Ward. Nick Pert versus Chris Ward. What have we got?
Are we not going into Glenn Flair against Mark?
Yeah, we'll do that next if that's all right.
Yeah.
So Pert versus Ward.
After e5.
No, I haven't got any moves at all.
h3.
No, Nick Pert versus Chris Ward.
Nick Pert. Okay, sorry, the other Pert. Nick Pert against Chris Ward.
Yes, please.
d4, nf6.
Yeah.
nf3, d5.
Okay.
c4, e6.
Another Queen's Gambit.
nc3, c5. Tarash.
C5. Wow. Okay. Semi-Tarash. Very interesting choice.
Yeah, and now cd5, cd4.
C takes d5, C takes d4. Okay, that is a very unusual choice, isn't it?
So the point is that if you play queen d4, knight d5, queen takes d5, pawn takes d5, Is the isolated pawn not very dangerous in the endgame, or is it dangerous because even though you exchange queens and a minor piece, it should favor white, isn't it?
This is an unusual way of playing for black, isn't it?
Yeah.
Normally, black
I
just
think
plays.
queen d4. The motivation is knight c6. If you play
No, knight c6. The queen's protected by the knight on f3.
oh right, sorry. So
You
he has
can't.
to play knight d5. So I expect queen into d4 being played here, which is what happens. cd4, queen d4.
Just to show what normally happens, black normally takes on d5 with the knight in the semi-terrace, and then white chooses between e3 and e4. The most common line is where we get this typical semi-terrace line where black gets his pieces out very quickly, but white's got a big centre. That's one of the most common lines in this whole variation. Thought to be a bit better for white, but certainly playable for black. Now this move c takes d4. I actually thought that was bad. You know, this sort of thing was played by Lasco and that sort of thing. It's really old line. I mean, queen takes d4. Okay, it doesn't black get just a bad pawn structure by force?
Yeah, e takes d5.
Yep.
And in comes e4. And so, you know, Nick Pert is showing his attacking side here, that he doesn't want to, you know, because he can't play the normal moves now because of knight c6 being a tempo gainer. So he has to do this e4 because to exploit that he's got some kind of leading advantage.
Can I just check something here? So bishop g5, yeah?
Knight c6.
Are you sure? Knight c6.
Bishop f6, knight d4, bishop d8.
So knight c6, bishop f6, what were you saying?
Knight d4.
Knight d4, bishop takes d8, yeah?
Knight takes f3, check.
That loses a pawn. Yeah,
Knight
knight
c2
c2,
check, king
okay.
d2,
You ever going to get your knight out of that
So
hell
you've got to
hole?
get your bishop out.
Okay, I'll get it out.
And then now bishop f5.
Don't trust this for black.
Bishop g6.
I play for mate. Ah, that is mate. Yeah, it is mate. I wasn't joking.
Exit it so it doesn't trouble you. Exit my antivirus.
Okay, go ahead.